Hey everybody, welcome. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hey. I'm John Maher. That's Abby Brooks and Aaron Brooks, also big fans of Thanksgiving. Their neighbors are big fans of Halloween. We heard
Yes, we're so thankful.
It's still Halloween. It's still Halloween in Northern Lehigh.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're here for a very special episode. But before we get down to that, how are you two crazy kids doing today?
I think we're doing pretty
good.
So
thankful to be here.
Great. Yeah, and we're going to give all you viewers a good reason to be thankful because, last year we decided we were going to be like the cool kids and do our own Letterboxd challenge. And a couple people, not like the whole earth, but enough people, even some people don't even know, joined us for the first annual Why We Love Horror Letterboxd challenge, which we're still doing because the year ain't over yet. So I decided, since it was a slow week at the theaters, let me just whip together 2025 second annual Why We Love Horror Letterboxd challenge and give you all a preview of what we'll be watching next year. How do you two feel about that?
I'm excited to do this again. I think it'll be really fun. I love new opportunities to watch like movies that I wouldn't typically like choose to watch. So I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. Also excited. So go ahead, John. You don't care about my thoughts about this, clearly.
Yeah, Abby already talked. So I was just going to throw the website up and you can keep talking. If you want to get a preview of it, it's there. And this year, it's much easier to read. There's no like things that could be mistaken. It's a capital A, a capital K, a lowercase a capital O, and a capital M. And I'll never, ever say that again. I'm never saying that for the next 52 weeks. Yeah. Go over there. Aaron, what are your second level of thoughts?
Yeah, my second level of thoughts are the first year of the Letterboxd Challenge is a great success, as Borat would say. And I think we're probably going to go over our first year at some point on another episode. So I'll kind of save more of my thoughts on the first year, but it definitely, I think, more often than not, was one of the best movies I watched of the week thanks to this challenge. So I'm really excited this upcoming year, and we're going to go through it here. And each one of us had our own input at points in the list, which I think is a cool little twist this year. So looking forward to kind of breaking it down. I don't like trailers, so I didn't really look at the list ahead of time besides my own picks. So I'm reacting off the cuff here.
All right. Well, since you're getting a jump start, you don't have to start this till 2025, but check it out. Join it up, populate your list, don't populate your list, share the list, get everyone to do it, get all your friends together, people you haven't spoken to till high school.
Yeah.
Get them on Facebook, say, hey, I want to be friends again. Let's do this Letterboxd challenge together. I want to bring you together with kids you haven't spoken to in 3 decades.
Awesome.
Or in Abby's case, like 5 years. It's fine. But anyway, since there's 52 weeks in a year, I divided it down into a lucky number 13 sections of 4 movies apiece. Section 1, the little Letterboxd account I like called Horrorville. And on the list, you'll find the link to the Horrorville Letterboxd. But every year, they tirelessly determine across the entire earth what the 50 best horror movies are. And every year, I've been trying to watch all of them. And they put out their 2024 list already. Are you guys familiar with Horrorville, and how much do you like?
Yeah, I'm familiar. I mean, since I joined Letterboxd, I've been familiar with them. And yeah, I mean, I saw their list for this year. I took a quick look at it, and there's definitely some movies like really high up that I just hadn't heard of before. So I'm excited to kind of look more into those. Like, I think a good amount of them are foreign ones or just movies that haven't been released here yet or haven't been available here yet. So I'm excited. There's some things I disagree with on their list, like certain movies I feel like are way too low and some are way too high. But I think they usually do a good job.
Yeah, I know about Horrorville because of you, John. Otherwise, I feel like Horrorville should probably hire John, but that's a whole nother story there. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of movies on that list I've never heard of, so that's exciting. I saw Cereal and Milk made that list on a quick glance, so go check that out on YouTube before the list and choose something else because that's only like 50 minutes long anyways.
Yeah, we'll just run through the first 4 movies you have to watch. It's just literally the last 4 years. So you're going to watch a movie from Horrorville's, the official top 50 horror films of 2024. and then we go 2023, 2022, and 2021. And those are all they haven't gone before that yet. So these are all the lists. You're getting to see the entirety of the genius of compilation that Horrorville's been putting out. I can't plug them enough. Hire me, please. I'll work freelance for you guys. And that's it. Check it. Honestly, there's 200 movies to choose from across those 4 lists, and I guarantee there's going to be at least I haven't even watched. I think I've watched half of one of the lists so far. It's really good. You discover a bunch of stuff. I would have never watched that one Indian movie. I forget what it's even called, Virupaksha, if it wasn't for this list. And that movie's insanely good. So they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Second section, kind of the opposite end of everything. Getting a foundation in the classics. And I modified it a little bit because one of Abby's curated picks overlaps it a little bit, but we'll fix that. What do you guys think about the classics?
So I don't know much the classics are probably one of my biggest blinds. I have many blind spots in horror, but classics are probably my biggest. So that's why one of my picks is kind of in this realm also. Because again, if I have a reason to watch some of these older movies, then I will. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to broaden my horizons.
I like an old movie. I watch lots of old movies. Old horror movies from the 30s. Most of them that I've seen from the 20s and 30s have blown my mind with how good they are, because those are pretty much the ones that kind of have lasted, like Dr. Caligari and whatnot. Those are the ones that kind of have maintained the test of time. But I do like classics a lot. But classic horror is something that I feel like I'm still learning about. So always never against the foundation. So I think these are always good to have on a list, and have plenty to choose from, especially from the 30s and 40s, 50s and 60s. I've watched a few at this point.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think even when you go back, you watch all the old Fritz Lang stuff, you start wondering how the hell did he do that? I have no idea how they did that. The effects in some movies from the 20s and 30s are crazy good. It's
the sets of some of these too, and this sounds very weird, but they're really dynamic while being black and white. The visuals are so dynamic in black and white, which seems much harder to do than
watch The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari if you haven't already. Watch that fucking movie. That movie's the production design is berserk in that movie. Anyhow, very simply, watch a movie from the 30s, watch a movie from the 40s, watch a movie from the 50s, watch a movie from the 60s. That's it.
Makes sense.
Moving on to something that's a little more personal to the channel. I did rearrange round 3 in Why We Love Horror Trivia. I got rid of a bunch of synopsis categories. I added a bunch of synopsis categories. Let's talk about those synopsis categories in an ode to the new synopsis categories in Why We Love Horror Trivia. But I put a little twist on it because I didn't want it to be too easy to just nail these things. So your first task is going to be watch an Asian horror movie, but not from Japan or South Korea. And Aaron will tell you, he watched a Laotian film earlier this year, and he can't stop talking about it. So there's other countries.
Yeah. Do some exploring. There's other things in J horror and South Korean horror. That's all. There's just so much out there, and pick one, any of them that are not the 2 big ones.
Yeah, I left India on there because I really think Indian horror is underseen. So that's fine. You could do that. Go for it. Abby, how you feeling about Asian horror, not Japan or South Korea?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I think if you have a Shudder account, you have many opportunities for all of these upcoming categories. Even
Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix too. They have they have a lot of foreign language on Netflix now too. But yeah, Shudder makes it easy because they have all of the different categories curated, all of that, and literally from any country that you can think of, you can find. So I'm excited again to kind of just watch something new.
And The Long Walk was that movie, by the way.
Yeah, I still got to watch it. And I would say Indonesian horror too. It's not even hit or miss. It's mostly hit, some miss, but Indonesia is up and coming. Check out anything from Indonesia. Second twisty thing, we have European horror as a category. So you got to watch a European horror movie, but it can't be from Spain, France, Italy, Scandinavia, or the UK. Haha, figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Still plenty of good stuff left. Trust me, there's plenty left there.
Yeah, no, that's one that I know a lot less about, so I'm pretty excited. I mean, definitely, there's still some would Russian count?
That's pretty much where I was planning on going for mine.
Okay, yeah.
Russia counts,
I
Germany
was trying to
counts.
show my geopolitical lack of knowledge there, but yeah, I'm probably going Russian here. But either way, like, yeah, we'll talk about Italian horror in a little bit.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Czech movies lately, apparently, and like they are wacky. So yeah, there's lots of stuff out there. Yeah, trust. They're like, it's like there's always like a revolution, like in a European country, and like they discover filmmaking and they just go ham. Like some horror movies are filmed in that era, and you should dip your toe in that pool. Next, another new category I put in the third round was folk horror, but I want you to watch one that isn't in English because I think there's some good ones that are not in English at all. Not that I think the English folk horror movies are basic by any means of the imagination, but I feel it's like an oversaturation of English language folk horror. So go find other shit.
I can't even think of any right now. So good.
Yeah,
good idea.
Definitely, we need to do research. I mean, this whole like section, I think I'm gonna have to do research on. But this one, I love folk horror, and so I can't wait to watch what else there is in store. And this whole section will definitely help in trivia also, which is nice.
Like, yeah, You Are Not My Mother comes to mind. Most of the Field Guide to Evil. There's a bunch of stuff that you could watch that is not in English. And it's a lot of Eastern European stuff because that seems to be Eastern European in nature. You'll find a lot of like old school, like spiritual stuff coming from that part of the world. So it's out there. And then finally, watch a world horror movie, but it has to be from South America or Africa. You can't go to Australia or New Zealand. Haha, take that. And again, Damien Rugna is from South America, so you have plenty to choose from if you haven't seen any of his movies, and then there's plenty of other people as well.
Yep, I've seen a few African horror movies as well that are very solid.
Yeah, I agree. Saloom, if you haven't seen it, a Senegalese movie, is fantastic. Moving on to section number 4. These people are in everything. I found people that have like literally over 100 horror credits to their name, and you'll be able to find a movie they're in. Leading off, Barbara Crampton. She's in a lot, and she's had like a resurgence recently too. So you don't even necessarily go back to the 80s. She's still churning out movies.
Good horror movies too. So Suitable Flesh came out last year, was it?
Suitable Flesh was last year. Yep.
I think she was in one or two that came out this year too, around like I forget what it was called. But she's in
Little Bites. She plays like the social worker.
That's the one. That's the one.
I just watched that like last week. It's pretty good. Next, had to put a little bit of a disclaimer on it. Watching non-franchise horror movie starring Bill Moseley, so you can't do Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and you can't do the Firefly Family trilogy. You have to pick another movie he's in. I swear they're out there.
You can do Prisoners of Ghostland.
Yes, you can do that. There's a lot out there to pick from with Bill Moseley. How do you guys feel about Bill Moseley?
I don't know him well enough. I mean, like there's so many movies he's been in, but yeah, I don't have the affinity you do for Bill Moseley, I'll say.
So he's a great man. And then also somebody that's in a lot of franchise movies, but does a lot outside of franchise. Danielle Harris. So obviously you can't watch any of the Halloween movies. You can't watch the Hatchet movies, but there's plenty. She's in plenty. And then finally, surprisingly, I didn't realize he had so many horror credits. Then I realized this guy will just go in any movie you ask him to be in. He is in Human Centipede 3. Eric Roberts is in a bunch of horror movies too. So
it's in a bunch of movies.
Yeah, and I think close to 100 of them are horror credits. So find an Eric Roberts movie. I get it's probably most movies. Just he's in there somewhere.
Yeah, Mr. Brightside does not count. The music video, Mr. Brightside does not count. A section I was very proud to include, and it'll be coming up if you do the list in order, this will come up right in time for Asian Heritage, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. It's the J-Horror Appreciation segment. We skipped Japan earlier. We're going deep dive into Japan for this section. I just picked 4 directors, and Aaron, you like this guy for the most part? Yeah, Takashi Miike. His horror is less hit or miss than the rest of his movies for sure. been holding off on one. I'm gonna, I guess, hold off on it until next year at this point because it's the only horror movie of his I haven't seen, and Abby decided to watch it without me this past week, which was totally cool. So one missed call. I'll see you next year around whatever. What is this? March probably. I do it in order. So this will be April.
This is around May, and we're going April.
May? Okay, May is a great time to watch One Missed Call. I'm sure I'll watch all 3 of them for this one.
This is also called like Watch Audition Already week. That's what this is called. You should be watching Audition if you haven't seen it this week.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Then moving on, Takashi Shimizu will tackle his movies as well. I really haven't watched.
What is he done?
This is the original Grudge guy.
Okay. So I've watched the first 2 Grudges as of now.
Yeah.
I like the second one more than the first one, which is a hot take. I'll assume. But yeah, the Grudge movies, I think there's 7 of them. Did he direct all of them?
I don't believe he directed all of them, but he directed.
That would be crazy if he did.
Let me see. He directed one. Oh, well, he directed a lot of them. Shit. He directed at least 4 of them.
Oh, wow.
All right, but there's a lot.
All right, so I'll probably continue my Grudge watch because the second one was a lot meaner than the first one. So yeah, I highly suggest chew on though.
Aaron did watch one of this fellow's movies recently too, Hideo Nakata. You can watch this. Is if you watch Ringu Already Week if you haven't watched it.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a few other movies. I think he did
Dark Waters.
Yeah, Dark Waters, and he did the Ringu sequel, Ring 2. He did plenty, and then probably the Japanese director that everyone likes the most, but nobody remembers they like him the most. Kiyoshi Kurosawa, who just banger after banger. So pick anything, you'll be fine with him. Watch Cure if you haven't. Week is this week.
Also very good though.
Yes,
yeah, you can't go wrong with him though. He's great.
Actually, I was like the first one on the list. Like watch a movie from Horrorville's 2024 list. He has a movie on that list called Chime. So that's probably
I just watched a few weeks ago. Actually, very good.
Yeah. That's probably what I'll watch, but we'll see what happens. It's a long time off. And now we're moving on to stuff we did. Abby gets to talk about stuff she picked. Here you go, Abby. There's your first one.
Oh, yeah. So we have been really getting into The Last Drive-In with Joe Bobber. Aaron has been watching him a lot. I try to watch as many episodes as I can, and especially when there's like specials that are going on, because they always have like all-nighters or like jamborees or whatever. So I've been really we've both been really into it, and there's definitely some interesting and very weird movies that he covers on this show. So literally any season of his show, just pick any movie that he's covered to watch.
And for a bonus, you should watch the actual episode of Joe Bob to it, which will extend the movie by 2.5 times the running time of the movie.
Yeah. He made Slumber Party Massacre go on forever.
But you'll learn about the Russian Revolution of the 1740s.
True. And here's your second one.
Yeah. So like I had said earlier, I don't know basically anything about older classic horror. So I really wanted to try and get at least one category. Now there are many categories in this that give me that opportunity to watch. And I could watch classic horror anytime, but this just kind of gives me an actual excuse to. All
right. Anyway, here's your next one.
It sounds like The Grudge is going on in your home.
Yeah.
Horror about animals or just like revolve around animal in some way. I wasn't sure exactly how to word this. And I picked this because we didn't really have anything like this in the 2024 list. So I thought it would be an interesting one to pick because I know there's a bunch to pick from.
We need more animal abuse on the list, John.
Okay. No.
Thank you.
We're gonna watch Diaz for Dogfight from
one of the categories next year I'm thinking is movie where a dog dies on screen.
No. It's where the animal and it should have been like animal attack movies or something like that.
Yeah, it's basically what it is.
Yeah, that's what it says. I'm just making a joke.
It doesn't have to be a dog. It could be any animal. It could be
any animal dying.
Oh my
God.
It's on screen. No, I'll have screen.
And then the last one that I picked, either a horror musical or like a movie surrounding music. I don't know. I really liked preparing when I had to prepare for horror musicals and trivia. So I thought this would be a fun category to do. And there's a lot of musicals, but there are also a lot of movies that are centered around music. Like I think the first movie I watched for this past challenge was that Hellbender. That's like kind of surrounded around music, something like Green Room or something like that.
The Perfection.
Yeah, I think any of those could be fun also. Like you don't have to watch a movie where they're singing the entire time.
Yeah, but Adelaide Spence, thanks to you.
Yeah, if you want to watch a movie where they sing, you can do that.
Hey, Aaron, you're up.
Aaron is up now. Yes, so for my 4, I've decided to pick 4 that pretty much represent me as a horror and overall movie fan. So first, horror movie with a notorious slow burn or a slow burn horror movie, whatever you want to call. A movie that is known for people saying nothing happens. So this is your everybody watch Skinamarink week if you haven't watched Skinamarink, because that's the one where nothing happens. You're wrong, but whatever. So yeah, you know what a slow burn is. Talk to your friends, get a slow burn recommendation, or talk to me. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, Aaron's handing out slow burn.
Yeah, all my 5-star reviews. 26. Watch a horror movie where drugs are featured heavily in the plot of the horror. This doesn't, exactly represent me, but it represents a former me more so, and a part of me, I guess. But I'm thinking like Mads, Enter the Void, those types of movies.
Killer Bong, all the Killer Bong movies.
Exactly, all the Killer Bong movies, which I haven't seen any of them yet, believe it or not. You can even, if you really want to, it can be a metaphorical one where it's like Bones and All, where it's the symbolism is it's about drug addiction, but it's not. Whatever. Bones and All, so good. 27. Watch a Jewish-themed horror movie. Spoiler alert, I'm Jewish. If you couldn't tell. Hello. Watch a Jewish-themed horror movie. There's like 3 of them, honestly. The Golem is the one I'm holding off to watch next year. So I'm checking out the Golem. The Jerusalem director did this one. So I already watched Jerusalem. So got the
There's a movie called I watched a Jewish horror movie last year called Lullaby.
And by the way, Babadook, not a Jewish horror movie. That's just a false internet rumor that's been spread around since this movie came out. So look for a real Jewish horror movie, please.
Is that a rumor?
Yeah, it's a real.
Babadook is Jewish.
Yes, it's a Jewish rumor. Go check it out.
Babadook is one of those covetous Jews. Come and take everything from you.
It turns out he's just annoying. 28. Watch a Giallo movie. I mean, come on. If you've been following my letterbox, you should know this by now. I don't watch anything but Giallo now. That's just all I do. I'm a 1970s Italian man, and I go by Carlo. Watch one of these movies where nothing happens for a while, and then a whole bunch of stuff happens, and some of it sticks. It's almost like throwing spaghetti at the wall. It's great. They're so much fun. 29. Watch 2 of them. 29. All right, I'm so excited. John, tell me about yours.
Yeah, I decided, I do another show on this channel called Versus, and a lot of the movies are like this. Watch one of those cash grab public domain horror movies that are so popular all of a sudden. So, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, or Mousetrap, or the new Popeye movie that'll be out at this time. Like every week now, you'll see another thing that you enjoyed as a child turned into a slasher movie. Watch one of those and come join the pain party with me.
That will be a chance.
This is probably easier to find. Watch a horror movie that started out as a horror short film first. So if you haven't seen Saw for some reason, you could watch Saw this week. But there's plenty of horror movies that were like Night Swim. Night Swim was a 5-minute movie that they decided needed to be 90 minutes. So there's plenty of examples out there where you'll find a movie that was a short film first. And then Abby took my horror musicals one, so I put another one. Watch a horror movie that is based on true events, used loosely. So I'm sure there's plenty of those as well. I guess you could watch the Blair Witch Project or stuff like that, because it's based on true events. And then finally, my favorite, watch an 80s or 90s slasher movie where the whole idea is the killer is a certain profession, like Dr. Giggles or The Dentist or Ice Cream Man or Butcher, Baker, Nightmare Maker, all those movies. We're just going to put like a chef's hat on somebody and they're going to kill a bunch of people. Watch one of those movies. They're usually pretty good.
Agreed.
And now we're back on to studios that make movies. And that is all they do. I'm not going to say these are good studios. I'd say these are hit or miss studios, or so bad they're good. Because the first one on my list, watch a trauma movie. Let's go. All right. If
one.
There's plenty to choose from. You will enjoy it. Was it, Aaron?
I think I've seen 2 of them at this point now. Saw Toxic Avengers, and I saw a good one. The Toxic Avenger, I saw a good one. I can't remember what it was, though.
Was it Beware Children at Play?
Nope.
That's bad. You should watch that if you haven't seen it, because it's great. The best final 10 minutes in any movie I've ever seen.
Oh, my. I've heard
Abby, how's your trauma experience?
I like Toxic Avenger a lot. I think it's fun, very funny, very stupid. It's like my kind of stupid that I like actually enjoy. And I think Father's Day is technically considered trauma, even though it's like kind of newer. So I've seen that one, and I also enjoyed that one. But no, there's like a ton of trauma on, like, again, Shudder, all of that. So there are many options to choose from.
Hey, and speaking of Evil Dog, Aaron, watch a horror movie produced by Full Moon Features. So you can watch any of the 10 Evil Dog movies, any of the Ginger Dead Man movies, any of the Puppet Master movies. There's like 1 billion movies that Full Moon made.
So many good movies.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna pick.
Yeah. Treasure trove.
Hang on, we're not done yet. A newer studio that's putting out stuff, but it's not the one you think I'm gonna put up there. But the newer studio that's very hit or miss, putting out a lot of movies. Vertical Entertainment. This isn't like a bad. I'm not saying they put out bad movies, but a lot of the movies they put out are bad. Let's put it that way. So go through the minefield that is Vertical Entertainment and see if you can find a good one. Any ideas on Vertical, guys?
No idea.
I have no idea what it is. I was about to look it up and see what they've done.
Well, I think you guys know all about this next studio, because it is Jagged Edge Productions. I need you to watch a Jagged Edge Productions film. I don't care which one it is, but you're going to watch it and you're going to like it. There's so much bad stuff here. The Will and I did watch Shockwaves, which was incredibly entertaining. So you can do that one. It's not as bad as the other ones, but it's Jagged Edge.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
It's Jagged Edge, everybody. Just pick one. You'll love it.
Never enjoyed a Jagged Edge movie. So
most people don't. Moving on to popular fears. There's a lot of things that like horror directors just keep coming back to. Themes that never seem to go away. So a very popular one. Watch a horror movie that would freak out someone who's afraid of clowns. There's so many to choose from. I know Abby just watched Killer Clowns from Outer Space, so you watched that.
It's a
You
great
guys
one.
got any clown suggestions out there?
I'll let you.
Yeah, Killer Clowns is great. The It movies are some of my favorite. Obviously, most people have seen those, but that would be one of my picks.
Maybe Hell House LLC.
Oh yeah, Hell House. Yeah,
That's why I thought
that has a creepy clown in it.
There's clowns in there, yeah.
I would say that would be the one I would.
Yeah, watch
suggest.
any of the Hell House movies, even the bad ones.
Anyways,
Second fear, which it's kind of like near. I don't like it. Watch a horror movie that would freak out someone who's afraid of insects or spiders. We've had a lot of those this year. We got Infested. We had Sting. There's plenty. You could watch Spider in this. Yeah, you can watch Jagged Edge's Spider in the Attic or Spiders on a Plane. Jagged Edge is there to help you out with these insect movies. You can watch Stung. You can watch Zombies. There's so many great movies to watch here. Them from the 50s.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Kingdom of the Spider.
Your next fear. Someone who's afraid of snakes or reptiles. Any of the Anaconda movies.
Cis Stoner Snake, maybe out.
Yes, Stoner Snake. It sounds like it's up. You could watch Jagged Edge's Monster NATO. There's so many movies you could watch.
Jagged Edge.
Jagged Edge has you covered in like all of these categories, but I think there's definitely Jagged Edges, because the last one, if you're afraid of hospitals, doctors, or needles, you could watch a Demonic Plastic Surgeon MD and they have you covered. But there's plenty of other movies you can watch that have a medical theme besides Dr. Giggles that would fit in this category. Did I go on to my other folder here? Section 11. This is your obligatory, because right around now we're getting the Halloween season, so these are your obligatory Halloween watches, and I kind of made them a little bit specific. Watch a slash movie set on Halloween. There's literally probably hundreds of them, but pick one of those. Then we're gonna go and watch a movie about witches or magic or curses that are set on Halloween. You can watch Hocus Pocus. If you were so inclined, or not,
or witches. Quick.
Yeah, there you go, plenty. Then there's also monster horror movies set on Halloween where monsters attack on Halloween. You could, like Trick or Treat would fit here. You could watch that. There's monsters in that movie. And then as a little freeform, I put you pick a horror movie, but it better be set on Halloween. There's plenty of those too.
Yeah.
And then this is the section I came up with that I thought was pretty cool because it's going to make you think. This is horror icons, but reverse it. So basically, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick a movie that has Kane Hodder in it, but he can't be the person playing the killer or any of the bad guys in it. Kane Hodder has to be in that movie. So you could pick Wishmaster because he's not a bad guy in that movie, just as a starting point, or plenty of other ones where he's just Kane Hodder. He's Kane Hodder. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to go right through the list. We're going to do that with Robert Englund. So you can't pick. There's plenty of movies where he's a good guy. Trust me, I've seen him. He's a good guy. Stop stereotyping Robert Englund. Our boy Brad Dourif, he's a friendly gas station attendant and urban legend. He's trying to help out.
Warner.
Yeah. And then finally, R.I.P. Tony Todd. You can watch Tom Savini's Night of the Living Dead. He's the good guy in that movie.
You watch Final Destination's Bloodlines. He's in that.
Yeah, he's not always the bad. Is he the antagonist? He's kind of like antagonizing, but I'm going to count it.
He's the antagonist is Bloodworth, unless no, I guess
he's like the mouthpiece of death. But I'm going to allow it. You heard it. If I ever challenge you, I want to come back to this video where I said I allow it.
We're going to allow it.
And then finally, you're getting rewarded. You've almost made it when you get to this part of it. You're going to watch the highest rated horror movie on Letterboxd that you haven't seen, but it also has to be in Letterboxd's top 250 horror list. You can't pick like that. A 4-minute movie that somebody made in college and had their 12 friends give it 5 stars. Can't do that. I've made that mistake several times in 2024, and people have argued with me on the internet about it. Then we're going to go to watch the most popular horror movie on Letterboxd, sort of by popularity, that you haven't seen. Usually if you just default to films, genre horror, that is the list. So Perfect Blue this year shot up the top of the list. So if you haven't seen Perfect Blue, you're watching Perfect Blue because that's what you're going to see. And then this is a cool one. You're going to just scroll through your Letterboxd activity until you find a friend that watched a horror movie you haven't seen, and then you're going to watch that movie. So if I'm your friend, you're going to watch a Jagged Edge movie. I guarantee.
God.
And then finally, watch any horror movie that's already on your watch list. So yeah, do yourself the favor. And that's the whole list that you'll find here at Akao. But hey, you know what? It's still why we love horror. So we need to talk about what we watched this week. So. And where's my old we're still at this website with the lowercase L and the capital I. This week was watch a horror movie that has been remade. So I'll start. I thought I had watched this movie because I'd seen so many horror movies and maybe I've watched it, but I didn't really recall a lot of it as I was rewatching it again. So I'm going to say this is the first time I've watched it. I watched Silent Night, Deadly Night before Christmas. So it's standard. It's standard 80s slasher. It takes a while to get going. Then it's really good for like 20 minutes, and then it doesn't give you the ending you want. But I respect this movie. We'll go to Aaron next.
I finally watched Poltergeist. Never had seen it. Wasn't expecting to like it very much. I loved it. Yeah, this movie is way better than The Conjuring. And just for one simple reason, I really care about the family in this movie, like so much. Like I don't want to see anything bad happen to them. So when the ghosts start fucking with them, it really is much more effective. Steven Spielberg definitely directed this movie. With all due respect to Tobe Hooper, this is definitely Steven Spielberg's movie, and he did a great job with it. So Craig T. Nelson smokes pot with his wife in their bed in the movie. I'm like, wow, this like got all sorts of stuff I wasn't expecting in it. So great job.
What'd you watch, Abby?
Aaron already spoiled what I watched. I watched the Takashi Miike One Missed Call. And I thought it was fine. I actually haven't seen the American remake, so I didn't really have anything to like go off of. And I thought it was okay. It starts out really, really good, really interesting, some really great and like weird deaths. And then the movie just kind of meanders for a while. There's a creepy ghost lady, like in a lot of these Asian horror movies. And then that's basically it. I didn't think it was that much different than any of the others that I've seen.
Makes sense. And that's it. We did it. So make sure you go on over to the two Akawam over there on Letterboxd. We'd love to have you this year. We'd love you to party with us all year round, exploring horror movies we haven't seen yet. If you made this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Get in those comments. Go to the Facebook group, Why We Love Horror. Follow us on Letterboxd. Monday versus Thursday, you're watching it. Happy Thanksgiving if you're watching it live, loser watching YouTube on Thanksgiving. And every Friday, Black Friday, Why We Love Horror Trivia. More three-way matches for you coming up tomorrow. Until next time, I'm John Maher, Abby Brooks, that's Aaron Brooks, and this has been Why We Love Horror.